Hello and welcome to the channel Natiergies. This is my channel. Welcome if you're new. And basically, this channel focuses on my passions and how I manage all of my passions because I have so many. And I kind of give you guys a sense of how I go about fulfilling all of those essentially. And I also am going to share some stories from my life because my life feels so eventful and nice. And I want to kind of they're funny stories. They're funny stories. That's why I share them because I want to share them, nothing more. And sometimes those stories also come with wisdom, which I also want to share with you guys that I learned because yeah, I'm still learning, believe it or not. And that's the best thing in life at all. Anyways, let's go on to what my name stands for. So Natiergies means nature spirit, and I call myself this because I love nature, which I'm going to go into a little more through in the video as we go further. And then Gies means spirit, which also kind of really resembles this video well because nature spirit. I love nature and I am a free spirit. So, without further ado, um, let me go into this. So, basically, this is me celebrating Lammas. I celebrate it different than other people. I feel like everyone's gonna have their own different way of celebrating it. What is Lammas? Lammas is a pagan holiday that is one of the 8 Sabbaths of the calendar, and Lammas is the first harvest. Basically, back before advanced agriculture, that's when you would get your first big harvest of crops in preparation for the winter to come. And it's basically filled with abundance and a lot of good, a lot of food. That's kind of when you want to stock up for preparation for the winter. So, long story short, I identify myself spiritually as pagan. I don't identify myself as a specific kind because I don't like to personally put a label on it. Other people do. I respect that. I don't. And you guys can say what you want, but that's just me. And another thing is some people who identify as pagan practice something called witchcraft, where they do spells and incantations and kind of make like teas, special teas with herbs and stuff. I don't do that. That's not very interesting to me, and I don't specialize in that. I don't have any magical powers or anything, although sometimes I want to. So I basically kind of just focus on, like, I identify as pagan. I focus on more of my connection with nature and Mother Earth and the universe and my intuition and my inner self. All those things kind of help me spiritually, and that's what I focus on spiritually. I was born Christian, into a Christian household. It's a great religion and all, it's just not the one that fully resonated with me. So I kind of decided after basically um, liking it so much and asking my friends a bunch of questions about it and kind of trying to live it through them a little bit, I realized, wait, what if I just identified as pagan? And that just works for me. On to the next thing. Side note, I believe personally in rising and falling with the sun. Not everyone has to, I just do. So like pagan is like an umbrella term and it's it I like the freedom that it has. So like that's one of the things that I do spiritually for me. It's like I try to rise and fall with the sun. Yes, I'm recording this at like 10:20 at night. However, that just takes priority tonight because I've been trying to manage my time and find time to do this. That's the only reason. Now, I want to get into another thing about me and my spirituality. I have a little binder, actually. I think I can show it to you guys real quick. If I can close it properly without everything falling out. So this is my little binder. It's nothing special, just a binder, literally just a binder that I kind of keep like all the information I want to learn, or like I try to digitize things because I'm not gonna ever look at it if well, I'm not gonna look at it as much if it's all on paper. And it's easier to access it from my devices anyway. But there's something about it being like in a book, in a big fancy binder slash book, that kind of makes it like more permanent and my rock, if that makes sense. And there's a version of this. Oh, shadow book. Basically, I was trying to mimic a shadow book. So this is kind of my version of a shadow book, where you write down all your spells, beliefs, spirituals, incantations. I just kind of write down like the holidays, the eight Sabbaths, and basically like I also put in some hobbies and stuff I want to learn, because also my multi-passionate kind of stuff rolls into my ties into ties in with my paganistic beliefs of like I want to learn everything, and I believe in a state of I always want to be learning throughout my whole life. Anyways, let me go into the specifics about Lammas. So Lammas is the first harvest. It is basically the so for the whole year you have the change of four seasons, so that's four Sabbaths, and then between each of those Sabbaths is another one, which is really nice. This one is the Sabbath between the beginning of summer and the beginning of autumn. So that's fun. And basically, I celebrate this personally for me on August 1st. You can celebrate it August 3rd. You can celebrate it like there is a day specifically. I just don't know exactly when that day is. August 1st or August 3rd for the northern hemisphere, covering my bases. So, yeah, that's when I celebrate it. Don't know exactly what I'm doing yet because I work that day, but I'll figure it out. And if you guys want to know, you can leave me a comment question or a question in the comments saying, "Hey, what did you end up doing that day?" And I'll tell you. Cause yeah. So some of these little workings for that's unique to llamas is well, sometimes they repeat themselves throughout the year, because I know abundance is definitely a big one that the Sabbaths focus on because they're so special and they're all about feasting and food. And yeah, I actually tried to use to like I tried to fast during these Sabbaths, or like only eat fruits and veggies. That did not work for me in the long run, just because it didn't feel like a celebration. It felt more like a punishment. So these days I try to focus more on like splurging a little bit and being like I want to like it's like a reward. Yay, the Sabbath. So abundance is one of them because it's the first harvest of the season, preparation for the fall and winter. And endurance is another one. So I believe this is more tied with discipline, self discipline. I'm personally trying to be more self disciplined and get into a routine and kind of finish or like make actual progress instead of dilly dallying in all my little projects and hobbies and passions that I want to get done and I want to learn and I want to grow and enjoy. Another one is love. I think that's kind of universal for all the Sabbaths because, like, yeah, that's just something I found. And then strength. I'm so strong, you're so strong, everyone's so strong. Like, it's kind of, and also, like, you're gonna be eating during this time, I hope. So, nom nom nom. Skills. As I said before, I want to, like, practice skills. This is me, basically me saying, during Lammas, I want to be a better person, holistically. I don't know, work on myself in XYZ way. And a very good food during this time that kind of ties into it is bread and berry fruit like berries and grapes, animals, woodland animals, deer, birds, and Basically, side note, speaking of woodland animals, is so Friday, I went on a run the right before the sunrise, and this was in the trails of the local forest. There were at least 5 times that I got scared and surprised by the deer rustling in the bushes. It scared me so much because it was so dark, and I was relying a lot on my uh, ears, my smell. Yes, I use my smell when I run. Oh wow! So believe it or not, some parts of the woods smell different than the others, and I'm running, so I'm like breathing heavily. So everything is going into like my nose anyway. So don't judge me, okay? So, and I also, when I run, I feel more sensitive to the air around me and the ground beneath my feet. That's just me, and I'll make a whole video on this if you guys want me to, or I might just do it anyway because I want to, on how I practice this because it's an art. It's a practice. It's not something that you just magically learn overnight. Okay, and so, anyways, I didn't know that there were deer there because it's hard to like sense them with the other senses for me because I'm not there yet. And so when I hear rustling the bushes, I had to like stop like 5 times and like catch my breath because they're so scary. And it's like, wait, are they coming in front of me or are they still in the bushes? Do they want to charge at me? Like that's why I was so scared. Like I can't see these. Like probably like some of these deer are like as tall as me. Like scary stuff. Like I would be like stopping dead in my tracks, making sure that like I don't encroach on their space and they don't encroach on my space because I'm gonna make another video on that of how I believe I should respect their space because the woods is kind of their space and I should respect like I shouldn't try to get too close to them for that reason. If they want to come close to me, I'm gonna be honestly related to scared because there's diseases out there and I'm not gonna go around petting deer and foxes and raccoons because those are other animals I saw on that run that also scared me. And the foxes and raccoons are even more quiet than deer, so imagine that. They're also nice though. But good thing for at that point of the run, it was getting kind of light, so I can barely see them in the distance, rather than just rustling in the bushes. And I'm like, what in the world is that? I hope those were deer. Anyways, so basically, um, I had to stop plenty of times to make sure that they had their space. And that's just part of my belief system as well, because I like to respect the animals. And so that's another lesson. Be careful when you go running in the dark. I like to be there in the morning. And there's also something special about watching the sunrise on a Sabbath. Even if it's not the summer solstice, which was the last Sabbath, I kind of think it was worth it, even though it was a little scary, kind of like a roller coaster. But I would still rather do that than ride a roller coaster. It's less scary, in my opinion, for me. Anyways, I'm gonna stop there for the video. And I know I kind of breezed over a lot of things. I just had so much I wanted to say in so little time. And if you want, I can go deeper more into Lammas. But that's basically how I celebrate it. Basically, by remembering about why it exists in the first place and why, like, what are some things that basically kind of like grounding myself to my roots, if that makes sense. Kind of like, oh, I want to do this, this, and this. It kind of like the summer solstice is about for me like fun and games, and then as I get closer to the winter solstice, I try to like be more and more strict with myself, and then I go back to fun and relaxing. That's kind of how I go about it. And then also on the Sabbath, I like to reward myself with a long run because I like to long run and see the animals. And maybe I'll go to the little tiny waterfall and just listen to that. and I'll go to an open field with a lot of tall grass. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to me speak about the random thing on my the random things in my life. And basically, if you want more videos about me talking about my hobbies, some stories, some wisdom that I have, and if you have any questions for me, feel free to comment on any of the videos because I will read them. I'm looking at those every day. And then feel free to watch any of the other videos I have on my channel, okay? And let me know if there's any other topics you want to see me or hear me talk about. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.